the question where we are thinking that, of course, there's one stream, everybody goes to that stream, and then that stream closes down, or people are just not able to be successful to apply for their PR. But in this case, with increasing number of people getting interested, the number of application intake is also increasing by 5,000 every year. And you know what? 5,000 is a big number when it comes to express entry. I know there are many aspirant applicants who are looking for PR, but still 5,000 number increase is a big number. And let's not forget, it's not just express entry. We have other immigration streams which target French speaking people as well. So it's not just that you are only left with express entry.
Correct. And just as Dimpu asked this question, so the ID is Dimpu004. The question is, how about OINP with French instead of express entry? So is there anything regarding French in OINP?
Correct. So in OINP, there is a French speaking stream. So OINP French proficiency stream, people who have French proficiency. Again, the language requirement there is CLB or NCLC 7. It remains the same. And of course, the regular requirements of having a skilled work experience of 1 year. You do not need a job offer, particularly in this. So, that is one good point here. It is based through express entry, though. But of course, now ONP's cutoffs are usually lower than express entry. Because even if we speak technically, if the cutoff's gonna coincide with express entry, of course, those candidates are going to be invited in express. Why would they go for OINP? So OINP cutoff will always remain below the express entry cutoff. So if you are aiming for express entry, OINP French stream, yes, you can be invited, and the cutoffs are always low. The requirements are almost the same as express entry, NCLC level 7, skilled work experience, and intention to stay in Ontario. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's great thing to know. And also, I also get this question a lot of times, and you may as well, that in terms of French, when we talk about job experience in express entry, like in experience class as well, but also the other methods such as OINP or RINP, what are the experience requirements, the job experience requirements in each of the case?
Okay, so express entry with job experience required is 1 year. Again, I even see a couple of questions here. Do I need 1 year NOCB experience to be eligible for French draws? Yes. So the basic eligibility criteria for express entry, which is at least 1 year of skilled work experience, is always required. It does not mean that, if you learn French, you should not have work experience. You need 1 year work experience. It can be anything outside Canada, within Canada. Achieve NCLC level 7 on top of that existing work experience, and then apply for express entry. And OINP French stream is also the same. They also require 1 year of work experience because they are linked through express entry. The only benefit with OINP French is that the cutoff will be lower than express entry, so you have higher chances of getting through. But again, you still need 1 year of work experience.
Right. Okay, that's great. Yeah. And I also saw one more question. This is from Devanshi0670. I will be able to answer this, but you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
So her question: do I need 1 year NOCB experience to be eligible for French category draws? And this is something that we have answered. However, Devanshi, I would mention that now NOCS has been changed, and now it's based on tier. So you need tier 01, 2, 3. So as long as your work experience is under those categories, I guess, then you would be eligible.
Correct.
Yeah, perfect. That's great. And yes, we are open for questions as well. I know a lot of students do have a lot of questions when it comes to French for permanent residency. So you guys can please jot down all your questions and we'll be able to answer those. And also, Sahil, let us know one thing. So when it comes to learning French, now a lot of people have this in their mind that it requires only CLB. Like there are no other options when it comes to learning French, that you need to get CLB 7 for anything. But I guess there are two different ways you can go with it. One is CLB 7, which is for express entry. Is that the right word to say, express entry?
Yes. So basically, express entry French proficiency draw.
Yeah, right, for those. And then there is another band school which is CLB 5.
Correct. So so first thing, the CLB level 5 requirement in listening and speaking is for Francophone Mobility Program,
Yes.
right? So Francophone Mobility Program is for extending your work permit. So a lot of people who are now in a situation where their work permits are about to expire soon, if they are able to achieve NCLC 5 in French, again, exams have to be F and TCF because that those are the valid tests accepted by IRCC. But
Right.
on top of it, all you need is a employer who's willing to offer you a job. Like you do not have to what do you call do for LMIA. You do not have to go for anything else. All you need to do is we have to submit job offer through employer portal to immigrate. It's a way simple and less complicated process than doing LMIA.
Yeah.
And for your employer too, like we have many corporate employers who do not want to do LMIA, but I have had clients in past where we have been able to do the job offer through employer portal, non-LMIA one, because it's comparatively simpler and they do not require as much steps as LMIA requires.
Yeah.
So we can definitely have these conversations with your employers. And personally, from my experience, I have also helped my clients by talking to their employers, because sometimes employers are just not willing to give out the information about their business to the employee. But when immigration professional comes in, I can sign non-disclosure agreements with your employer, and we can exchange that information. That will make your employers comfortable in sharing all of that business information that is required to do the job offer. So I'll reiterate again that for Francophone Mobility Program, you can extend your work permit by achieving NCLC level 5 in French exams. And all you need is a job offer or employer who's willing to do a job offer for you, no LMI requirement, and you have to be living outside Quebec. Like this has to be outside Quebec. People who are within Quebec cannot apply for work permit through this program.
Right, right. And would you have more information on Quebec, how the Quebec goes with their own requirements for French and how that system looks like?
Correct. So something interesting that happened on April 29th for Quebec Experience Program PEQ. They have introduced for students who are studying in Quebec or who have graduated from any program in Quebec. Now they need to demonstrate either of these two requirements. Either their education in Canada has to be in 75% French, like 75% of the language of instruction has to be French, or they have a degree or diploma which has been where the mode of study has been French language. So this wasn't there before, because a lot of students who were in Quebec or in Montreal particularly, they were still studying in English.
Yeah.
But now things have changed for them. If you want to qualify for Quebec graduate stream where people can get PR, they have to basically demonstrate that their education was in French as well. There's second stream, which is still open and which still remains the same, which is sort of similar to express entry in Quebec, in which you are basically you're graded as per the credentials, like work experience, your French language ability, and your education background. So you get points for that. You create your profile in Arema, and once they come out with the draws and you can get invited, you need 1 year of work experience, skilled work experience in Quebec. And so it's basically similar to Express Entry, but just a different portal. We create Express Entry profile. Down in Quebec, we create Arima profile, ARRIMA, and there are draws. The last draw, I think, came out in April, where the cutoffs were around 506 and even 600, depending on occupations. So they have been also inviting people based on occupations, and of course, the occupations which are in demand, which has been ongoing all across. So if people specifically want to know about their situation and what are the chances or what are their points for Quebec immigration program, they should probably book a consultation so that we can calculate their points and let them know what are the chances of getting through the Quebec immigration programs.
Sure. Okay, sounds good. So yeah, just for everyone to know, if you guys want to book a consultation with Sahil, I have pinned the information over here. You will be able to email him, or you can also go through, you can text on Instagram as well, and that's how you'll be able to connect with Sahil. In terms of levels, now Ashnur Kamboj asked a very good question. NCLC 5 is equivalent to which French level in terms of A1, A2, B1, B2 level? So now, let me give a brief overview on what French levels are. So there are 6 levels in French: A1, A2, which are basic. So A, B, C. A is basic, B is intermediate, C is advanced. Okay, and in those there are sub levels like A1, A2, B1, B2, then C1, C2. So C1, C2 are the highest, A1, A2 are the lowest, and when it comes to C and NCLC 5, that is at B1 level. Okay, so there are so NCLC 5 is at B1 level, and once you go on to B2, even at B2 there are two subdivisions. One is lower B2 and one is higher B2. When you get NCLC 6, you get B2, like the lower B2, but when you get NCLC 7, which is for the express entry, then you get B2 plus. So again, depending on which stream you're going for, if you're going for Francophone mobility program, then you need NCLC 5, which is B1. If you're going with the other ones, in that you need NCLC 7, which is B2 plus. So yeah, so that was a great question. And
I see another one here. Hi, sir. From Mr. Anu _06, that I am in RNIP city and I'm working in ride shop. So how can I get PR? I'm not really sure about what a ride shop is, but I would just still go for general RNIP criterias. So firstly, if you graduated from any colleges in RNIP cities, so let's say Sudbury, Timmins, North Bay, any of those communities where if you have studied there, you do not really need any work experience. You only need a job offer. And if your question is about occupation, it could be from any tier or any knock code, like tier 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that does not matter as long as you have a job offer from eligible employer in that community. And French language does help you there. If you get French proficiency, you have some reserved spots for French speaking people there. And again, the requirements are NCLC level 5 and 6 2 instead of NCLC 7, which is higher in express entry. So if you're looking for RNIP and you're also looking to qualify through French, the requirements are lower than express entry. But if you're moving from another city, like you did not study in any of the RNIP communities, you need to have 1 year of work experience in that particular community before you can apply for PR. So major requirements are these. Other than that, of course, there's the basic language. It could be either French, it could be either English, CLB level 5, CLB level 6, depending on what tier your job is in, and then eligible employers.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm asking this question from a student perspective. So let's say if a student has studied in any other city in Ontario, would they? Right. So that means they are still able to go into that rural areas which are mentioned, as long as they have 1 year work experience in that area.
Correct. So somebody who wants to move and apply for RNIP now, they need to achieve 1 year of work experience in that community, get a job offer from eligible employer in that community, and they can apply for PR under RNIP.
Okay.
That's doable.
Okay, and that work experience, that also doesn't have to be in any particular knock category, right? Any tier category.
It could be in any tier, but okay, we have to be careful in terms of job offer. So if your job offer is from tier 5, let's say, okay, and your majority of work experience is in tier 2, that would be a bit of a problem because you're basically undermining what you have been doing. Or in that case, you can still apply, but you have to show that you have relevant skill set to perform those roles. So as long as you can prove you have relevant skill set to prove to perform the job duties for that particular tier, you are fine.
Okay. That's good to know. Yeah, that's I think,
because there are tier occupation requirements, right? Some of them require several years of work experience. Some of them might require a license, depending on what, trades. Plumbers need a license. Nurses need a license. So depending on what job you are going for, as long as you're meeting the requirements for that particular tier code, you can qualify.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, that gives a lot of information on this. Perfect. And also, I do have one question which I would like to take. China Love Life. So that's the name of the user. And the question is, which exam is better, TEF or TCF? So honestly, see, there are not a lot of differences in between both of the exams. It's 90% identical. The only difference is between speaking. In TEF Canada exam, the speaking has two sections, section A and section B. And in TCF Canada exam, there are three sections, section A, B, and C. So, that in itself can be a deciding factor, because other than that, all the things are same. That in itself can be a deciding factor that you can align more towards TEF Canada than TCF Canada. But again, it depends on personal preference. If you are more comfortable in speaking, then you go with TCF Canada. But if you think that you really need to, like you wouldn't be sure that would you be able to attend, or like would you be able to speak for that long for three different sections, then just stick to TEF Canada. Overall, when we talk about numbers, almost 80% of students, those who give French immigration exam, they just go with TEF Canada. So
Right.
yeah, that answers that question. Perfect. There are a lot more questions. Let's see. And Sahil, you can also scroll through and see
Sure.
which
Yeah.
question we best.
I saw a good one, which a lot of people generally have in their mind too, that when you say 1 year work experience, can work permit and tier job during study permit count? So this is always a very confusing topic for people. So any work experience attained during your study permit or during your education within Canada does not count toward your work experience or skilled work experience for express entry. So anything that you do, even it is a tier one job, tier two job, during your study permit time, will not qualify towards express entry work experience. So the day you apply for your PGWP, that's when your work experience for express entry. But again, that 1 year work experience could be from outside Canada. If you have that, that can benefit you. Otherwise, if you're looking for Canadian work experience, it has to start from the day you apply for PGWP. There are some other streams which are not really related to French, where like OINP International Student Stream, OINP Foreign Worker Stream. In those streams, we can use your work experience that you have gained during your study permit. But in Express Entry, in any French-speaking streams particularly, we cannot use study permit like the work permit gained during your study permit.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. So, well, I guess that's mostly for today, Sahil. I won't take your too much time, and I know a lot of students will have their questions as well, and they in this live we might have limitation in terms of how many questions we can answer. So if students would like to ask, or if all the audience there, if they would like to inquire about immigration services or ask any questions and book a call with Sahil, they will be able to reach this email address which is mentioned and pinned in over here in the chat. And at the end, Sahil, would you like to say anything before we end this live today?
For sure. So yeah, I see there are a lot of similar questions, and we did answer most of them. But yeah, sometimes we need to dive deep into your individual situations.
Correct.
So it is always better to have a customized consultation. I do offer 15-minute free consultation, over the phone. You can email me at info@stmimmigration.com, and you can also go to my Instagram, and there's link in bio for booking a consultation with me. Yeah, and we'll be able to help you. And of course, for any detailed questions or any doubts related learning French, you can always contact Vyom, and he'll let you know how he prefers to be contacted.
Yes. So for me, yes, I'll also put my email down below, or anyone can just text me just on Instagram. That would be fine, and then we can lead the conversation from there and discuss how discuss the customized program for you in terms of learning French. So yeah, I think Instagram would be fine. And if anyone would like to get more information, I'll be sending the email address in the text as well once you text me. So yes, that's all for today. Thank you so much, Sahil, for joining and giving your valuable time to answer the questions. And I will see you all very soon. Sahil, would you like to say anything before we are done?
No,
Just an advice to students.
I'm glad to be here, and thank you everyone who joined. we will be hopefully doing more live sessions where we'll take more questions from your side. So yeah, stay tuned for any of our future sessions. Thank you,
Perfect. Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank